At 10 o'clock, we'll open up our regular session for June 17, 2020. Silence your phones, please. And James, lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well done. Additions, deletions.
Yeah, I have two. One of them I didn't capture yesterday, the 10th Amendment to OHA Agreement number 159-818, and a new one, resolution number 2020-04.
Okay. With that,
Do we have anything for executive session today?
That's my knowledge.
any public comment? That's all we said, the crowd goes wild. Our next item, Caterpillar, well, Ann's in front of us, you want to just get Ann out of the way first, and then jump back to
We
the
can go through that if you want.
budget resolutions, 2019-14 through 17.
Okay, so we did discuss these yesterday. I'll give a quick,
Oh, and I apologize, Commissioner Albertson, you're on the phone?
No.
Yes, I am.
Thank you, sorry for not acknowledging you, sir. Welcome to the meeting.
That's all right.
Sorry, Ann.
that's okay. So 2019-14 is in the matter of unanticipated revenue. These are public health dollars from the state in support of our COVID-19 response. It increases state resources $66,100 and also increases public health materials and services for our contract payment to the Lake District Hospital for $66,100. Do you guys want to approve these one at a time or?
Yes, we
Okay.
do. I was just trying to get all my papers arranged so I had the right one. You ready, sir? Gonna make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept resolution number 2019-14 in the matter of unanticipated revenue.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to accept resolution number 2019-14 in the amount of $66,100 in additional state revenue. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries.
2019-15 is in the matter of an appropriation transfer. This is due to the recent union contract settlement. The jail will have more personnel services than anticipated, but has savings in materials and services. This resolution increases personnel services $5,500 and reduces materials and services by the same amount.
I'll make a motion to accept and approve resolution number 2019-15 in the matter of appropriations transfer with a fiscal change of $5,500.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve resolution number 2019-15 in the matter of appropriation transfer, that amount being $5,500. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
2019-16 is again an appropriations transfer for the same issue, union contract settlement. This is in the Sheriff's Department. This increase is $7,000 in personnel services with the corresponding reduction in materials and services of $7,000.
I'll move to accept resolution number 2019-16 in the matter of appropriations transfer, impact is $7,000.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded. Motion's been made and seconded. Resolution number 2019-16 in the matter of appropriation transfer. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Boy, we're struggling with you today, Mark. You're coming through slow and easy.
Well, sorry.
2019-17 is again appropriations transfer with the salary changes and increases is in my treasurer department. Personnel services increases $500, and then I had a savings in materials and services of $500.
We'll wait and see if Mark's gonna do a motion.
Let's make it easy, I'll second it.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept resolution number 2019-17 in the matter of appropriations transfer with a fiscal impact of $500.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to accept resolution 2019-17 in the matter of appropriation transfer, that being $500. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries. Where are we at now? That got through those, the e-civics.
E-civics.
Okay, the e-civics contract renewal is a subscription to a national database, a grants database program, which also allows some technical advice and research in the program. What we're paying for here is a base subscription with one user license. It amounts to $1,200 a year. I have this in my budget and have paid for this service for, I think going on 6 years now. I do feel like it's underutilized. I hope to really push it a little bit more in the next couple of years.
Very good. Entertain the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the e-civics contract renewal with a fiscal impact of $1,200 each fiscal year for 3 years.
Yes. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the e-civics contract as stated. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mark say
Aye for me.
aye.
Alright, guys.
Motion carries.
That's a rewrite here.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those days.
Okay.
Budget adoption is where we're at now.
Okay, resolution number 2020-03 in the matter of the 2021 budget does 4 different important things for our government operations. First of all, it adopts the budget in totality. This amount is $50,037,475. That is different than the amount you saw yesterday. The draft was higher because it included software and different beginning fund balances than what we will actually have this next fiscal year. So after the changes that were by consensus approved yesterday, that amount has gone down. The next thing this resolution does is it makes appropriation rules by fund and department and by fund for all of our government, Lake County government agencies or departments. So it becomes our spending law. That's the limit that can be spent by that fund and department and category according to this document. Some people believe that there's thresholds for allowances or something like that. That is not the case. According to Oregon budget law, this sets the limit. You cannot spend over this amount in this category or by any other category. So it becomes our fiscal year law. So as you can see, it goes through general fund, by department, and then also category: personnel services, materials and services, capital, transfers, contingency, etc. What is not appropriated and why it doesn't show up in this document as far as appropriation is any unappropriated ending fund balances or reserves, because we're telling the public those dollars will not be spent. So at the bottom of the different appropriations by fund and department, you can see that amount too that we just list. So you see how this all totals to $50,037,000. We are appropriating $27,865,882. We are setting aside in unappropriated amounts and reserves $22,171,593.
I've been using the wrong number. I said we appropriated 24 and we're at 27 plus 3 million.
give or take.
Just what we need for other departments.
The next thing this resolution does is impose the tax. This is our direction to the Lake County Assessor to provide our billing services for us on property taxes. This is our permanent rate, $3.7619 per 1,000 of assessed value. So that is set by all of those measures way back in the 90s. We can do something less than that, but we cannot go over that unless it's a voter approved measure of some type. So that is our permanent rate that was set again quite a long time ago. The reason our taxes go up every year is because according to those laws in the 90s, the value of property can go up. Our tax rate cannot, but the value of property can and does. So that's why our tax values can go up. The last thing this resolution does is it categorizes the tax. All of these taxes are imposed under the general government limitation. Again, that goes back to those laws that were set in the 90s. There is an education tax limit for properties and a general government limit for properties. And so we get classified in the general government.
And I probably ask this every year, for the adoption side, one motion will take in all of that. If
Yes.
I'm not mistaken, that's the way we start doing it.
Yes.
It takes in the tax rate, categorization, and so on.
Yes.
Just one other comment, we followed all the process and procedures, we had 2 hearings and we received 0 comment on the budget during the hearing process. Just for the record.
There was no comment at all during any of the budget hearings?
I don't remember any. I mean, I like that we seem to pack the house with the Lakeview one, but then no one provides comment. But that's, that's the way it works sometimes.
So we're ready for a motion.
Real quick, on the budget resolution 2020-03,
Mhm.
we also have a resolution 2020-03 in the matter of FEMA mitigation. It's got the same number. Is that a problem at all, even though it has the same resolution number?
Sorry, I meant to put a C on that.
Okay. Well, we haven't voted on this yet, so we'll just change this and put a C or something.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, sorry.
No worries.
Good catch, I know.
I'm like, oh, that's a C on that. It's fine.
I just, when I was looking for 2020-03, I found 2 of them. So, no worries.
Awkward.
All right.
And this wasn't what I was looking for, so. I just wanna, before we voted on any of them, which one should we change, or which one would be more appropriate to, so we'll just change the resolution, the ones that pertains to FEMA.
I put a C after ours just to make it clear as mud.
Okay.
So we can navigate through that mud. C goes on which one?
Ours,
On
natural hazard.
yeah, the natural hazard
I
mitigation
think it's
plan.
on
Okay,
the
because both
agenda.
ours is the way I see it. I'm really confused as which one's not ours. I'm pretty happy at having that 50 million.
We'll stick with the
Okay, C goes on the
And
FEMA.
that's not on the agenda.
Is it not on the agenda? It should be, because we didn't approve
No,
it
I know it
yesterday.
should, I know, I'm not trying to say that, somebody who does the agendas forgot it.
Okay.
Another addition.
I'll talk.
I knew I wasn't gonna be able to control this meeting today.
Sorry.
Alright, no worries.
I still would take a motion.
She is right though, it's not on the agenda.
No, I was just looking for it, and I know I put
At
it,
this point,
right?
we're going to add that to our agenda because it was accidentally left off.
Oh, yeah, we need to put it on for an action item for today.
Yes.
Alright,
Okay.
alright.
Well,
I'm,
you guys should be on the phone and try to figure out what's going on with the
oh, by the way, Mark, seeing that we're already in the mud, happy birthday.
Oh, yes.
Happy
birthday.
Oh, thank you guys, thank you.
You should get 2 discounts at Denny's at your age now.
Shot over the bow. Right there.
He didn't give me that word that he likes to use.
Yeah.
He's thinking of it.
Oh, man. All right, with that, I will make a motion to approve resolution number 2020-3 in the matter of the 2020-2021 budget.
I'll second the motion. The motion's been made and seconded to accept resolution number 2020-03 in the matter of the 2020-2021 budget, adopting the budget, and that total amount being $50,037,475. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We have an adopted budget. Awesome. Thank you for all the work, Ann, and everybody else who worked on it. Our next item would be resolution number 2020-04, and this is Ann also.
Yes, sorry, I missed adding this to the agenda last week. This is truly a housekeeping resolution for audit purposes. What it does is in compliance with the Governmental Accounting Standards Board, which sets governmental accounting rules, it tries to standardize how governments set up their funds so that everyone across the nation is similar. And what they're really trying to do is make sure that if you classify a fund as a special revenue, that there is legislation surrounding those dollars not being considered general fund, that they truly have some legislative rule for why they're outside of your general operations. So what this resolution does is it recognizes that we do have a few funds that are outside of general fund that don't have that legislative rule surrounding them. We have 4. The museum fund, which, we do the Schmink and the Lake County Museum Fund, but there's no law that says, hey, if you have a museum, you have to operate it specially. So what this fund balance policy does is it says we're committing those dollars from our general fund for museum operations. The next one is for the landfill. The landfill, again, the landfill operations does not have a legislative rule that says it's gotta be out there. So we, again, say some of our general fund money is committed to that operation. The Roundup Fund and then the Business Loan Program. Those are the 4 funds that we have that we classify as special revenue funds, but they don't quite have that legislative rule. The next thing this does is it tells people how we spend our dollars so that we know when we have grants or restricted money, we're spending those dollars first. Then we spend committed dollars to functions and programs or policies and things like that. And lastly, we spend unrestricted, unassigned general dollars. So it's just as some audit things that help them when they're doing our books, that they classify ending fund balances and beginning fund balances appropriately.
So, just so I have it clear, because we did talk about this a little bit already, basically it's just saying we have to spend certain dollars first before we can change any of these other things. Before we can there's a whole process before we get to assigned amounts and unassigned amounts in the general.
Yeah, and really where you don't see this in our budget, you don't see it anywhere except our audit. And if you look through our audit, it says like changes in unrestricted balances. And this gets us to what is truly unrestricted.
Right. It just creates a system in which we have to follow this and how we spend these dollars.
Yes.
So certain funds have to be depleted first, and we have to spend other dollars first before we can get to some of the others. Thank you. Yeah, this wasn't on the agenda yesterday, and Ann and I were talking this morning because I didn't even know what gas fee was. So I have been educated this morning on a number of things. So.
Good for you. Go back, first gas fee 34. Remember those days?
GASB 34 is what hired us to do a lot of fixed asset accounting and reporting, and it was a change. And we're,
GASB stands for General Accounting.
governmental accounting standards.
Basically the forecast.
Yeah.
So.
Simple reading for you in the evening time when you're bored and not have nothing.
No, I have plenty of other things to do. I have a 500-page natural hazard mitigation plan to read, so I'm gonna be busy for a while.
So I would entertain a motion.
On that resolution?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll make a motion to accept resolution number 2020-04, establishing policies for fund balances.
And add a C to that, please, sir.
No.
No,
That's
not
this other one. I have it marked over here, all right.
See for Commissioner.
I am so confused.
Mark, you don't have this document before you unless
I sent it
it's on
this
your
morning.
email, okay.
And that was a second and then an aye, Mark?
Yes,
All in favor of those two left, aye? Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, I have, a couple other things just to touch base on, if I have a minute.
Let's do it.
Okay, I wanted to point out a document that's attached to your 2021 budget adoption that I think is very valuable. What this document does is it shows actual values for 17, 18, and up to date for 19 versus what was adopted in 19 and what's adopted in 20. And it's a real quick highlight of our funds and departments. You know, there continues to be a lot of discussion about, you know, where materials and services might have been reduced and why. And I think this shows that we still met the needs in all of those departments and materials and services when you look back at what's been spent historically and to date. The other thing this document does is it shows by percentage of general fund or by percentage of the total county how much each function is. So I feel like this is useful. So just wanted to point out, like, instead of sometimes flipping through your whole document, your budget document, this is a handy spot to go. The next thing I need to ask for advice has to do with our current fiscal year right now and some transfers that we have budgeted versus a predicted beginning fund balance for July 1st. So I'm gonna walk you through this document. And Mark, I'm sorry, just bear with me, okay?
I'm following.
Okay, this is our cash flow summary that I provide to you monthly, and I want to show you some things on this, especially in that column of June, and what I'm still worried about, what I'm unsure of. So starting at the top, you go down, that taxes, I feel like that's a good prediction for both prior year interest and current year that we will receive in June. Same thing with local resources. I feel like that's a good number there. The other state resources amount that I have anticipated receiving is Daniel Tagg's OEM dollars from the state. We have been billing for that monthly since July, have not received any dollars. Daniel thinks we're going to get it. But if we do not, my prediction for that June 30th, 2020 cash balance goes down $40,000. The PILT money I have there is also a prediction. Typically, we get anywhere between 1% and 2% higher than we received the prior fiscal year. I just looked to see if there was any kind of statement on PILT, really, as far as releasing funds, didn't see anything. That number could be good. It could be a little bit higher, it could be a little bit less. Everything right now has a direct impact on that June 30th cash balance figure. I predicted that June 30th amount being 1.7 million for July 1st. Right now, this document shows that we're about $60,000
Short.
short.
but that's with the PILT dollars coming in and the OEM money.
Correct,
So, and neither of those we've received yet, so.
and it's June 17th.
No, it's not showing those because you're in red over here, so that 1.6, not showing those dollars coming in, correct?
I am showing those dollars coming in. That actual amount in June, that 40,000 that's sitting there in other state resources is that OEM figure.
Okay. I guess I was just following just down the column here and thought that this followed this column.
So what that impact to cash, that far right-hand column, what that does is it shows versus a budgeted amount, if we're under collected or over or underspent, depending which way it goes, and that's the impact to that June 30th cash balance. So that $55,000 being short in other state resources is not just OEM, it's some other state money that we budgeted for that we are not collecting, and it's gonna go, it has a negative impact on our cash balance.
So, plain English, if we don't get the PILT money, or if it's not, depending on when it comes in, our beginning fund balance, June 30th, is looking like $400,000.
Well, it's
Okay.
1.6-ish.
It's 1.6, but that's including the PILT money, which is 1.2.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
And then the 40,000, which we're still waiting from OEM, that decreases that down to about 400,000.
Right.
Yeah,
If
but
we
I mean, we're still, I don't have any reason to think that we won't get the PILT dollars.
we should get PILT.
Right.
They're very aware that a lot of governments have a June 30th fiscal year end.
Correct,
Not everybody does, but a lot do, and so that point has been made at Congress,
many times.
many times. If we keep moving down the spreadsheet, I feel like the salaries, overtime, benefits are good predictions. I have one more payroll that, we will pay out, so the actual isn't known exactly yet, but that's a good prediction. Same with materials and services, that capital is that figure. Where we have some discretionary room is down here in those transfers. I have not completed, and even if I had, those transfers to all of those different functions. The general capital reserves, the general insurance, the vehicle fleet, the road department, the fairgrounds, economic development, landfill. All of those functions, I have not completed those end of year support transfers.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'm asking is, if this prediction comes true, if these dollars come in like I've planned, if spending occurs like I've said, do you want all of these transfers to occur and have approximately a 1.65 beginning fund balance next year? Or do you want me to reconvene and get a consensus from all of you on those transfers?
So, and I've had some discussion on this, and I'm trying to go through these transfers and everything here. The one that's the easiest to talk about, just because that's the transfer to the road department of the 30,000. For me, whenever we were able to, we just done resolutions to put monies into reserves that they received. Doesn't make much sense to put general fund dollars over there when these people put almost $500,000 in reserve. So I myself, I know it's probably controversial, but would probably not support that transfer from general fund to use that money. So that, I might as well mention that right up front. I know it burns a few hairs and everything, but just thinking about being able to put some into reserve.
But we have to have that conversation.
Yeah, we have to have that conversation, so put that out there. I'm trying to look down through here of what else, and I guess we get we'd have to have a special session to come back, which would be fine. It's not no big deal to come back and take a look if OEM dollars don't come in. You have more information on PILT and everything.
We are meeting on June 30th.
Oh, that's
So
correct.
we do have a
That's still
So I
this month.
guess,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you for that.
that's
We're-
because
we're-
of how it fell. That's good.
I would say leave it like it is until our June 30th meeting and then discuss it further.
Okay,
Yeah, we can do
we
that.
can do that now, it just dawned on me that that meeting is that day, and so I can still use that as guidance and advice on making those individual
Right.
transfers.
It gives us some time to talk about this
Yeah,
stuff.
and see
kind of
more
work through
dollars come in or not, I'll have a much more clear
it.
picture.
Hopefully, PILT does.
Alone it should. I do wanna point out too, the landfill. You know, we did budget almost 240,000 in general fund support to support changes made there, all kinds of things. And as you can see right now, that prediction is about 163,000 in support, a savings of about 76,000. So kudos to the landfill on doing everything they can to, save dollars, increase revenues. So I just really appreciate that effort. It caused a lot of, it was the topic of the day for quite a while. And so it seems like bad news travels fast and we don't talk about good news enough. So I think that is a very good news spot for county operations. Another thing to point out, I feel like I say this in a lot of different ways, but I just try to paint the picture even more clearly. If I look at the monthly revenue that came in year to date, plus the prediction through June 30th on this spreadsheet, that collected revenue is $6.244,000. So keep that number in mind, 6.244. These expenses, as shown here, including the transfers as shown here, is $6.6 million. The difference is $357,000. That means we are spending, if these transfers occurred the way they're showing here, that means we're spending about $360,000 more this year than what we received. The only place that can come from is beginning fund balance. And that's exactly what this spreadsheet shows. That June 30th, 2020 prediction of 1.642 is about 360,000 less than what we started July 1st at 1.99. I know that it's, we've seen that beginning fund balance be 2 million plus for several years, but we've seen our dollars flatline coming in and our expenses going up for several years, and that's why that beginning fund balance is decreasing. So I just wanna again try and point that out, like that's what I see when I'm dealing with these expenditures and revenues day in and day out and where we're at.
And we're seeing that 2.1 or 2 million that we generally have go down to 1.7, or what we're now looking at right now is even below that.
Right.
It's almost $60,000 below what we've actually budgeted for.
We have to take into consideration revenues that come in less and everything impacts all that. By the end of the month, I don't know if we'll receive or not, but there's $18,000 on the COVID dollars that should come in. I really wish we'd asked for a lot more than that, especially comparing to other counties, but
Did you
anyways.
see that versus the population that I
Yes.
sent you?
Yes.
It's about 50-50 when you look at that list. 50% counties undershot and 50% went over, but the ones that went over,
All got theirs.
oh my goodness.
Well, I still say it was my argument, and our AOC director said put in for everything, which we didn't. But commissioner's time, Yes, it's budgeted, but it's budgeted for general work. It wasn't budgeted for COVID-19, and we should have asked for every one of our salaries that worked on COVID during that time. And hence, we end up only getting 18.
Yeah,
We should
they
have
tell us,
asked,
they
we
tell
should
us that we couldn't have, they tried to create guidance on the state level, but I mean, my argument is that it was a federally passed bill,
And the federal guidance was pretty clear on
very clear,
that it had to be not budgeted,
right?
not budgeted dollars, and so, that's interesting, I've had.
and my argument is we budgeted $0 for COVID-19, and COVID-19 took every bit of his work for 3 months.
We budgeted his salary year round,
Not
whether
for-
he
but
spends
that's
it on
not-
COVID or on
But that's
general
not,
government.
but not for COVID.
It doesn't matter what he's spending his time on, he's budgeted.
So anyway,
I understand that.
we could possibly have that 18 come in. Looking back up here at overtime in the red, what is, we're almost $20,000 over on overtime.
That's, you know, our big overtime departments are the jail and sheriff.
And then railroads, 17, so there's a couple there on the expenditure side.
The railroad, we need to cash match the Connect Tie project. Those rules changed, I would say, midstream. We thought that labor was going to be able to match it all, and then when it all was said and done, it was going to require cash match. So that's going to be.
And so, but on that cash match, I thought that was up to our operator to cover that, not us. It's our agreement, yes, with the state of Oregon. So anyways, I'm just gonna flag that one for some discussion later, but those two things, you put those two together, and you're talking 35,000.
Yeah.
In there.
Which is nice to see the savings too, the savings in materials and services, savings in that landfill transfer. All of those things are positives for sure. And there are savings in salaries and benefits, things like that.
Can we talk a little bit about the transfer to 103 reserves?
Mhm.
I'm seeing $60,000, typically about $15,000 every 2 to 3 months.
Mhm.
What
It
is-
supports, the Fund 103 handles a lot of general capital projects, you know, we did the sprinkler system, fencing systems, other projects for facilities, and it also supports reserves that are sitting there for future use.
Right.
It supports the general fund, like technology reserve, different
Well, I
functions.
mean, I guess my curiosity was arisen because it shows up twice in both the revenue sources and expenditures.
Yeah, this year we actually took everything we sent over to reserves back to fund the financial software purchase. So it kind of, it was an in and an out on that fund this year.
Okay, so the consensus is to come back on the 30th to have a discussion where the transfers will be reduced or not done. Because as the budget is and everything's budgeted, transfer and the transfers would happen. What Hannah's asking is whether or not we want to reduce some of the transfers. So we'll bring that back on the 30th.
Sounds good. Hey,
You bet.
sorry to
Thank
take up more of your time.
No worries.
All right. Jumping back up to Caterpillar 140H Ripper.
All righty.
Jump on it, sir.
Okay. Yeah, look on your face. I'm not sure what that was about. It wasn't looking at me, so. was
No,
just
I
kinda-
was looking out the window.
Okay, all right.
I just, my mind's always working.
Okay. Caterpillar 140H Ripper, I would like to make a motion to approve the purchase of the Caterpillar Ripper from Peterson Cat for a fiscal impact of of $12,700. Again, this goes under sole source, and it is a park line item.
I'll second the motion. Motion's been made and seconded to purchase a Caterpillar 148 ripper attachment, total cost being $12,700. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. It's a Melanie show now. Donate vehicle to senior center action consideration. And there's did we make the decision on the other one yesterday?
I considered that you did. I just needed a consensus and
Consensus, we done that. Okay, so, Melanie, go ahead. If you
so
want.
I was proposed by the senior center. They asked if we had any extra vehicles that we were going to auction. I said, yeah, I have one right now that's almost ready, but it's probably less than desirable. And I explained it to them. I told them the mileage and the year. It's in good condition. They took good care of it. It was serviced regularly, but I wasn't quite sure it's what they would want, and they were elated for the opportunity and will appreciate it very much. The total fiscal impact is $787 at most. They'll use it for their Meals on Wheels program.
We get to do some good things with bad things. A
Yeah,
wore out vehicle is a good thing to
yeah.
What was the bad thing? Have you done anything bad today? What are you talking about?
I'm
Like,
not sure it's the top of the line vehicle when I say that,
Okay,
but they're ecstatic to get it.
okay,
It's
all right,
13 years.
I see what you're
It's
saying.
13 years old, so I'm saying.
Yeah, well, as they can put it to use and for that purpose, and they seem to be very happy with it, I mean,
they're very grateful.
really happy that it'll be of use, value, so.
I'll make motion to donate the vehicle to the senior center of, it's the 2003 Chevy Astrovan, 2003, 17 years old, I'm wrong. Astrovan to Lake County Senior Center.
I'll second it. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. We now have the 10th Amendment to OHA Agreement number 159818.
So this is a resolution that you guys approved earlier with Ann. This is an amendment to the agreement showing the increased coronavirus funds to public health.
That's 13.
You said that we didn't approve it, that we need to approve it.
The
Or
10th
was it in
That's
that
the
13?
10th.
That was Ann's resolution. This is an amendment to the agreement for their biennial contract.
This is this one, I believe. Because we didn't have it on our desk, on the table yesterday, I don't think.
I gave it to you guys Friday.
Yes, you gave it to us, I don't think, I put it in my packet, and so we were discussing it, but I had left it on my desk, that's what it was. So you have it in front of you?
Yes, I did. Go ahead. So we need to approve this one also.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve agreement number 159818, 10th Amendment to Oregon Health Authority 2019-2021 intergovernmental agreement